Success Centers was started 35 years ago by Superior Court judges who saw the need to provide alternative education and vocational education services to young men initially who were detained in the county's long-term detention facilities. Today we run one of the top one-stop career centers in San Francisco. We have services in not just San Francisco, but 3 counties, San Mateo County and Alameda counties. And our school is in community in partnership with John Muir Charter. But we meet our young people inside detention and have created this bridge into community. We provide training in 5 different categories, one being the arts, tech, healthcare, hospitality, construction, and a new budding industry, cannabis. The map shows you our locations. As well, we're located in 6 detention facilities, 3 in San Mateo County, 2 in San Francisco County, and 2 in Sonoma County. We're in those 3 counties. We're in 5 important county schools between the 3 counties and community spaces. So I'd like to just talk a little bit about what our local challenges are, our local situation. There are 45,000 students within San Francisco Unified School District, and over 5,000 of those young people are habitual and chronic truants. Needless to say, 60% of them look like us, black and brown students, of whom 9th graders are failing at least one class, with a graduation rate of less than 14%. Although the numbers in detention, and I'm sure we're all experiencing this, have dramatically declined, still 85% of the detainees are black or brown, with a rapidly growing number of young women. 80%, what we found over the decades, still, even today, that 80% of the young people that are detained there have committed crimes that are of an economic nature. They are robberies, prostitution, drug sales, all to make some money. And we believe that if they knew that better, they'd do better. Arts and science are typically things that are not afforded the students that we care most about, and especially those that get assigned to important county schools. We know that they have eradicated all arts and science or computer science or any connection to technology for our young people, and I think all of us here can attest that arts or technology can't even save our lives. So today we want to provide some answer to successful reentry. As RJ has said, we graduate 80% of the Cortland County school day students. So we engage them in our programs. Once they return to community, we get them involved in our training programs. We'd like to share with you where some of these innovations have come from. We support our young people in navigating very complex systems like the juvenile justice system, education, community, even family systems throughout our programs. And in the means of getting them reconnected into the community.
And so through our Inside Out program, we're strong believers that young people should not be sitting in detention and doing nothing. And sadly, there's still a lot of places where that's going on. So, we start often with our arts program because arts really has the power to move people. And from that, young people get inspired to go on to the other programs that we have inside. We designed this model in collaboration with the San Francisco Juvenile Probation Department and the Unified School District. And so through our program in there, we set up one-on-one mentorship with our young people to go through our playwriting. Then they have an opportunity to go into our evening GED, high school diploma completion, study hall program where they're paired up with another mentor, one-on-one, who stays with them for the remainder of their stay. They're really giving them an opportunity to develop personalized plans to look at their potential goals, their dreams, the opportunities. We have an opportunity to be able to develop healthy relationships and what that means through a lot of our life skills programming. We introduce them to a lot of supportive community resources for people who are working on the inside. And you're going to see Ray on the outside. You're going to see Jasmine on the outside. You're going to see Liz on the outside and the other collaborative partners we work with. And really building that bridge and starting to form that trust with And while you're inside, I'm not going to just send you out and say, you're chosen all you're going to love it. Our young people don't do that. So while we're inside, we're talking about what are those next steps, what are the ways that we can do that personal growth, develop that growth mindset, and then come back in the community and get involved in the programs that we offer out in the community.
So I'm going to talk to you all about why, how it works and why. I can talk particularly about our coding program because 3 years ago, we surveyed youth across the city of San Francisco from 14 different areas in San Francisco. We asked them, what are the tools, what are the things that you need to be successful growing up in the city, growing up in this fast-changing world? What do you need? And so we had about, 30 or 40 young people, all transitional age youth, and they came up. I mean, it was so many ideas. We had about, I think, 16 different categories. And so it was a sticky wall exercise we did. And in these categories, we said we had to condense this, condense this, condense this. And what we came up with is this young person said, with all this stuff that we're looking at, what comes to mind is my homie's couch. And so I said, homie's couch, what does that even mean? And this young person, he said, well, if I want a safe space to go to, if I want a place of non-judgment, I want a place where I can rest my head, where I can talk about my problems, all these things that we've talked about encompass that, right? So let's call it my homie's couch. And then from that point, that was our steering committee. Just about like 90% of the decisions that we made were based on the voices of the young people. Because we wanted them to feel like they were very much so part of what we were doing. One of our more popular programs is our Code on Point program, and you're going to get a chance to hear from one of our successful leaders. I think you're going to really love the story. But so right now, I think this morning we did a class from 10 to 1. It teaches folks about Code on Point, and it teaches young people about CSS, JavaScript, HTML, and in our third iteration, this iteration, we teach them intro to blockchain. If blockchain doesn't ring a bell, think about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, all that sexy stuff they like to talk about. And so these are the things that we're talking to them about, just so they can kind of get an understanding of what the changes are in the world, and they're getting good at it. We have one young man, his name is Anthony Tedeschi, straight from through and through Fillmore. Fillmore is one of our historically African American communities in San Francisco, and he talks about it in his video. He said, "My community is changing. The things around me are changing. I don't even recognize Fillmore anymore, and I want to do something about it." And fortunately, through our program, just 10 weeks of work, 10 weeks of training, 10 weeks of being a sponge, he managed to build up enough skills, enough confidence to go out there in the field. In a matter of a month, he was able to secure a job that managed to help him triple his income in San Francisco. And if you know anything about Silicon Valley, there's a lot of six-figure earners, right? And what does that do? That increases the competition for housing, that increases the competition for jobs. Because you got schools across the nation, you got graduates that are looking for opportunity, rightfully so. And they come to our city, and that has an effect on the folks who are already there. So maybe we want to talk about John.
So all of our, as you heard from my colleagues, that all of our programs are designed with industry in mind. Every young person we've talked to has either dropped out or been pushed out of school because they're bored or they don't understand the relevance of things. And we need to think about, our school system is based off of industrial age, 1890s curriculum, not toward this new way of thinking and learning. Our young people can Google anything. They're more self-taught than probably the education they're getting in school. So we need to utilize technology to kind of drive their learning and their zest for information. And we need to just think outside the box. Like Ray said, and the young person said, we got Silicon Valley right there, and we're not using technology. We've also found that the arts have been essential to our young people's development. it gives them a voice. And again, these are things that they were kind of not offered or kind of prohibited from engaging in. And we do a construction training program. We build tiny houses inside the location where our school is located. And you can't build a house if you don't understand math. You can't read the blueprints. You can't do art. You can't do literary arts if you're not willing to do the research and use your writing and reading skills. And so you need all these things to perform, and then they come out with a tangible product. You come out with an app, you come out with a website, you come out with a play, you come out with a house. These tangible things really give them the zest to keep learning and wanting to explore and do more. And the curriculum is contextualized, so it's not this nebulous stuff that they're not interested in. These are things they have a direct interest in and learn how to apply the 3 R's. And so strong research shows that through arts and education, our young people's cognitive skills, it helps to build those capacities and enable them to master their basic skills.
I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, and the majority of my friends were gangbangers, Bloods, and then I had some friends that were Crips. So I've seen a lot of them die, seen people shot and killed in front of me, had people die in my arms, dodged a lot of bullets myself. Somehow I navigated my way out of the hood unscathed, and I wanted to give back to the young people with basically telling my story, but also coming to them through visual art. So not only do we teach visual art, but we also teach life skills combined with the visual art. So to give you an example, I might give them a talk on empathy, and then afterwards we may do a lesson where I would teach them how to draw the person in front of them. And while you're drawing the person in front of you, let's think about what that person might be going through, or what's going on in their life, or what kind of experiences they may have had. One thing about the visual arts program and the way we combined it with the life skills is that it gives 2 impressions on the mind. So the first impression is that we'll give the talk. We'll talk about maybe self-awareness or problem solving, goal setting and achieving. That may take like 15 to 20 minutes, and we actually shape it in the form of a discussion where the youth have a chance to participate. So after they get that first impression and we leave gems on their mind for them to walk away and think about, then the next impression is the art component, which is tied into the life skills. So many of you may know that if you're listening to someone speak and you actually write down what they say, you actually remember better. So that's why we kind of put both of those together.
I want to kind of expand on the gig economy section there, because I think it's something that's being overlooked. I was actually privy to a presentation where they talked about how our workforce landscape is evolving, right? Robots and all this other stuff, right? And it's a little scary. But kind of dating back, I think it was like a year or 2 ago, Liz and I, we talked about what was looming. We got to have foresight. We got to look at what's happening now and what the implications are for the future. And so what we noticed was we did our research and we found out that in 2008, when the house of cards fell, when a lot of folks lost their jobs, and we noticed that there was an offset. It wasn't necessarily so a lot of folks lost their jobs, but a lot of folks were resilient too, and they found ways to put food on the table and income in their households, and they did that through the gig economy. And I don't want to delve too deep into this story about how I got on board with Success Center, but they surprised me on my second interview. I'll just give you something brief. On my second interview with the organization, I came into this kind of like this quad area. I don't want to say quad area, this kind of lobby area, I would say. And to my surprise, they had about 7 young people sitting on the panel, and 3 teachers from the organization. We had a school at the time, still have a school, and we had some staff members. And so I looked at the screen and said, "Welcome to Shark Tank." And so I was like, okay, what did I get myself into? I don't think I was prepared. But they did tell me, hey, bring a PowerPoint presentation, and they said why, but I thought I was just going to be presenting in front of, maybe 1 or 2 people. But anyway, the young people, they were hard, and they asked me a lot of questions. And one thing I presented on was TaskRabbit. And I know for a couple of tasks that I needed to complete for my own business, I used, at the time it was Odesk. and now it's Upwork. And so I employ third-party administrators, and so these folks, these young people can learn ways to kind of, build up that entrepreneurial spirit and skill set. And there are a lot of transferable skills in it. You gotta learn taxes, you gotta learn time management, you gotta learn all these things that create employability skills. And so we actually threw the very first gig economy job fair in San Francisco when folks were like, what is a gig economy, what is that? And so we had to use euphemisms like, oh, get your side hustle on. Anybody seen these Uber ads or Lyft ads, or just talk about side hustle and that? And that was something that the young people resonated with. So we've been a part of this gig economy evolution. And so it's still coming. Contract work is still alive, right? And a lot of those W-2 jobs are just not in abundance anymore. And so we got to tool our young people with the ability to switch if need be.
And to start thinking like a boss, right? Again, they already have been captains of industry, and so we got to get them to think in that mindset, but in a legitimate fashion. So those same skills that they learned that got them in trouble, oftentimes can be transferred into a legitimate economy. And like Larry Robbins was talking about yesterday, we gotta get them to think about being a boss. Put them in the mindset of a boss, and then again, life goes go on. Not be a worker, but strive to be the boss.
So one of the things we also talk to the youth about, and which Ray kind of brought up, which is the gig economy is pretty interesting idea that you could actually just pop open an app, take a picture of your ID, and you're probably ready to go make some money. And there are a lot of youth online making money on selling platforms. How many of you heard of Poshmark, Mercari, and all these other? Yeah, see? So that is one thing that we've been bringing to them. And the reason why is because a lot of them, when we say, okay, I ask a lot of them in the hall, what are you going to do when you get out? They say, okay, I'm going to go get a job. And the thing that kind of concerned me was that all of them were saying this. And I'm thinking, like, these brick and mortar places are going away. You can't just go to the grocery store and start bagging stuff for the summer. You know what I mean? So what could they do? And so we all start looking at alternatives and looking at the way the way our market is changing. Is going towards gig economy and online, making money online and doing things like that. So that's another mindset that we're bringing to them.